Hello there and welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I am Victor Matthias. It's been 5 years since the United Nations Environment Report, UNEP, on Ogoni land was produced with responsibilities shared among 4 critical stakeholders, namely the government, multiple stakeholders, operators, and the communities. Today on the program, we will be focusing on the implementation of the report and to a large extent, the cleaning of the Niger Delta region. But before we begin, let's take a look at what kept the social cyberspace bubbling in the past week. The world's greatest boxer breathed his last, and that got the online community saddened. Members showered praise, sent their condolences, and also relived moments from the life of the legendary boxer. The World Environment Day was observed on June the 5th, and this year's theme was titled Zero Tolerance for the Illegal Wildlife Trade. The aim is to raise global awareness and take positive environmental action to help protect nature and planet Earth. Nigerians called out the Buhari-led administration for not keeping its promise of publishing the names of looters. The president, however, later partially fulfilled his promise as he published the recovered assets and funds, but left out the names of the corrupt officials from whom the assets were recovered. Well, rest in peace to the legendary boxer. However, back to our focus on the program, which is the launch of a cleanup exercise in the Niger Delta region. I'm being joined by a development specialist, Olumide Idowu, and he joins us from Lagos, Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We also have an executive with the International Center for Energy, Environment and Development, Hamzat Lawal, and he joins us from Nigeria's federal capital city. That's Abuja.
Good afternoon, my brother. Thanks for having me.
And a public affairs analyst also joins us, and that's Seun Olukaide. He joins us from Oshogbo in Osun State, southwest Nigeria. Guys, thanks for coming on the program. But Olumide, let me come back to you to begin the conversation, and I'll start by asking what the implementation of the UNEP report mean.
I remember very well last year when I went to Paris, the president actually make a commitment to do this cleanup. And I also remember very well that the cleanup is going to help such communities to have back some of the wealth, some of the opportunities, and some of the advantages of what they are lacking for the past years. And it's something that is going to help the environment, and it's going to bring back activities when it comes to agriculture. They'll be able to also produce and make things done by themselves. And this also is going to help the entire community in the sense that it's going to also provide a lot of job opportunity, because when the land is fertile, then there's going to be a lot of opportunities on ground. So I think doing this is also one of the mandates for Nigeria as a government, as a country, to also contribute to the development of our environment and our society. And I think that's one of the things that the cleanup is going to do, not for only the community and not for only the society, I think also for Nigeria entirely.
Well, for us, what it means, it's empowering the community, how we can ensure that the disruptive environment ecosystem over time that has been polluted is revitalized, and how can communities' voices be heard, being empowered, and ensure that we're able to preserve the environment in the Niger Delta. And beyond that, how can we ensure that moving forward, we would not have another case of cleanup where we would see more proactive measures, more institutions being empowered to ensure that government policies are being enforced in due time, because this has lingered for so many years. As much as we're quite excited and it's historic, we need to also ensure that people are held accountable for their actions or inactions and how it affects the Nigerian people's life, and most importantly, our rural communities.
All right, let me just ask, are there plans for other communities as well moving forward?
I think moving forward, yes, we've started with one community. But beyond that, we also need to look at how we can have more environmental impact assessment in other communities that are being affected. And like we all know, in recent time, there've been pipeline vandalization. And what this means is also more contamination of the environment due to oil spillage of affected host communities. So I think moving forward, what this means is taking more proactive measures and ensuring that we expand the scopes, even beyond the Niger Delta, because even we have other contamination, even in Niger State, where you have lead poison due to artisanal mining. So again, we need a holistic approach where we would see more collaborative effort between communities and between different government agencies beyond the Ministry of Environment, so we can see more sustainability over time. Because after the cleanup, what next if people don't take ownership and don't get their voices heard?
Like Hamza have said it, that we need people's voice to be heard. Taking it forward, we remember that the implementation of these UNEP reports is basically mostly for the indigenous people, because it's going to really help them also to be more effective. So when we're talking about taking it forward and what next, I think one of the best things that Ministry of Environment and the government of Nigeria presently should do, first of all, we need to sensitization, like we need to enlighten people on why this cleanup was done and why it's going to be a benefit to them as a community and as a society. We also need to make sure that the government needs to also work with close stakeholders in the community and out of the community that can help them to do a lot of environmental assessment, so that things can move forward effectively. And we also have a reporting system that will make us to see that everything we are doing will be evaluated and make it real. And also, young people are cannot left out in this race. Youth is going to be one of the people that is going to be helping them to also carry out some activities on ground to make sure that we monitor every places that the cleanup is going to start. And the mandate of the government needs to also pass through implementation. They need to implement what they say. They need to make sure that these things are being done.
It's long overdue, and if we look at the past, if we look into history, this is not the first time that the government have actually promised the cleanup. Now, the fact that it's being done right now doesn't actually just makes a little difference. It makes the difference in the sense that now we know that the government have actually pledged to do the cleanup and they are taking a step towards it. But my problem is, how is it going to be continued? We have a continuity problem in Nigeria. We never continue anything. We don't have a maintenance culture. We don't have a progressive culture. So how are we sure that this is going to continue? How are we sure that it's not going to be abruptly terminated along the line? How do we know for sure that this is just not some media stunt to add the accolades of the president? But we can only hope that it's a step in the right direction. That's what we can only hope. Now, however, we just also have to keep looking forward to the continuity of the program, because it's not just launching the cleanup, it's actually continuing it.
All right, guys, just hold your thoughts for a second. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back shortly. Join us again.